Alright, welcome to week 4, day 3. In this video, I've finalized it by moving the gate to the start and then also the gate to the end. And that's not pretty much it. I also made it so depending on how fast you actually clear the stage 5, you get bonus points. And if you get under, like, I think it was 50 seconds at the time, it will just give you 0 because it assumes you're cheating. But, I keep saying but, I'm unscripted. Unscripted. First try. And now I'm saying That's really what happened, and I think I did this for about an hour and a half of coding, and it was a lot of just minor minuscule bugs, making sure that you can actually get through everything. You can get to the final stage. When you go through the final stage, you get the correct amount of points. You get rewarded the correct title. You get your double jump stuff like of that nature. All the data and like the data stores. I think it's the data stores making sure all that is correct and that all works. I don't have too much to say other than this is the part where I start implementing the jumps, and I got into not quite a pickle, but I got into more. You can tell what kind of material is under you, which I think is weird that you can tell you can tell what kind of material the thing is under you, but you can't tell what the thing is. I don't know why. You can tell if the air's under you or like the thing under you has ground or blah blah blah, so on and so forth. And yeah, hypothetically, no, not hypothetically, because what I wanted to do was since that was built in, I wanted to use that as a way to track everything in a table of what you have jumped on because the strategy for the jumping thing to make sure that people can't just keep jumping up and down in the same spot is basically to have a table of about 10, and then for every instance that's in the table, basically if you jump on 5 things that you previously have jumped on, you can't jump on the same thing twice either. So if you have 5 things, it would reduce like by up to 50% the points that you're rewarded. So you can't just do it like that. And then every first time you jump on something new, you get double the points. So like if you were just actually clearing a stage, you'd get like double the jump points. But if you were trying to grind jumping points, it would actually slow down and it wouldn't be as easy because in a hypothetical land where I would actually make this like a functional game and add content to it, jumps are supposed to serve as a form of currency, and that currency is supposed to buy you stuff like, oh, I can't die or I can't demote or things like that, and that never really happened. It was optimistic though. I'm glad that I wrote a lot of stuff about how I wanted it to work in case that I actually did end up making a game, but I ended up not doing that. And the jumps, I had to learn how to do the ray casting, which is not an approach that I wanted to do. At one point, I just started thinking, okay, how can I tell when can I do it by bounds? Like a bound box is like basically a hitbox for this thing, and then that didn't work, so I had to use raycasting. And then when I did raycasting, it wasn't really working until I finally found a proper way to raycast. And I will admit, I was like going back and forth with ChatGPT, and then going between Google and ChatGPT kind of led me to the right thing. It gave me wrong code. Obviously, it typically always gives you wrong code. Um, but it's not a useless tool because it gives you a general idea of what you're supposed to do. And I would ask it questions about the limitations and if the approach that I'm using would work. Like the material thing wouldn't work and stuff like that. And then I looked it up on Google and I ended up finding out how to do the ray casting. And I eventually got all the ray casting done. And when I got the ray casting done, when you jump onto a new thing, it adds it to a table. That table then gives you a point. There's a multiplier for your rank. There's a multiplier for if it's new, and there's a multiplier if it's not new and it's repeated. And yeah, and then the jumps actually work. And when the jumps actually work, eventually, the jumps go up and then they get saved somewhere. So that's gonna be all. My bad. It's gonna be all for this video. It's about 4 minutes. I think that's a good amount. I didn't have something at the start showcasing what I'm talking about, but I think now that we're wrapping up and getting to the end of it, people who are sticking around, they've wanted to stick around. They're just supporting me to support me, and I appreciate that. If I ever blow up and somebody hears this, then I'll kind of sound like a doofus. But thanks for sticking around. Appreciate it. Give me any feedback, comment below, like the video, subscribe. It helps with the algorithm.